Hello and welcome back to Chelsea Chat. A very short one tonight. I'm not spending a lot of time on production, not that it normally looks like I have, because I'll be honest, I'm absolutely angry, sad, disgusted, embarrassed. I'm the first one to argue Graham Potter's corner, and I still back him, but because I don't think he's been given enough time. But that tonight, Manchester City 4, Chelsea 0. It's not even the 4-0. It's not the 4-0 that's the embarrassment. It's the display. I've just looked up when Manchester City beat us 6-0 under Sarri. Do you remember? We had 12 shots on goal that day. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up in a minute. I think it was 5 on target, but 12 shots on goal. Today, allegedly, we have 3. I can't remember them, unless you're including one that nearly hit the corner flag from Hutchinson. It was just a shocker. We did not look like we knew what to do. We were playing against the reserve side of one of the best teams in Europe, and we didn't have our full side out, but you got to be competing better than that. You've got to be competing. I was looking at a couple of games that I personally remember, 86, 87, when we lost at home 6-2 to Nottingham Forest. They had some side then under Cloughie. Pat Nevin and John Bumstead scored. I remembered Pat Nevin. I couldn't remember the other goal scorer was. And then 1991, I was up at Forest when they beat us 7-0. And we put in more of a shift that day than this lot. These overpaid, overrated prima donnas that either lack effort or football IQ. I mean, there was a big gap. I think Mason Mount got fed up early on of cutting down space because not everyone was doing it at the same time. And against a team like City, you've got to be in unison. But there were big gaps between, Havertz was meant to be up there, although he was dropping back and there was people forward of him. And it was a mess, but there were big gaps between the midfield and you had no chance really of someone being up there and holding the ball up and people running on because it was acres. The only chance you really had that Koulibaly tried a few times was just whacking it and hope it hits a blue shirt and sticks. And if you think you're being overrun and you look over your manager and he's doing nothing, let's say, I'm not talking about that stand, any stand of football at the park, you're getting overrun by the best team in your league and you're running around like a blue ass fly and it's no good. In the formation that you're in, your senior players say, right, we're very narrow. They're tearing us apart down the wing. So what we'll do, we'll drop back. We'll make a tight block like the teams that haven't got the sort of individual skilled players that Chelsea have got like they do. Just to take the sting out. But Potter, the other night, I watched that game. Like many of you, I bow to his qualifications and that. I went on a UEFA B course that expired years ago and played at a decent level for a very short while and then park football. But the other night I watched that and it was obvious that Zakaria, whatever way you want to pronounce it, I don't know which way you pronounce it. I know I've been saying Zakaria. He was a physical presence in midfield. And with Kovacic, it was a perfect combination. And when Chukwuemeka came on, we really had a go at them. We matched them physically, and there was that athleticism. There was that athleticism to compete. And I think if you'd stuck Mason Mount on top of that, you might have got something today. Ziyech, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he did today. I watched him once in that first half where he lost the ball and he just watched and walked. Bloke went forward. Fortunately, I think it was Chalobah that was away because Kepa was stuck on his line. Should have been out. Easy ball for a goalkeeper. He was stuck on his line. They could have scored. But that started off with Ziyech losing the ball and then he might as well waved at him. Blow him a kiss. Absolutely useless. Embarrassing. Havertz, yes, he's a Chelsea, written in the Chelsea history books. I couldn't bring myself to say he's a Chelsea legend. The boy's got so much potential, but I've been saying it time after time after time. He should have got used to this league by now. And he doesn't put a shift in. He doesn't think. I don't know what he does. Apart from double Nazi salute in a penalty box to give a penalty away. I don't know what he does. But the other night, we all said how much better Koulibaly was on the left-hand side of the defence. Now, I'm all for giving Humphries a game. But we're away at City. We know that Koulibaly is better on the left-hand side of defence. We know we're better with Zakaria in the middle and even with Chukwuemeka. So when I see Jorginho's name on the team sheet, I couldn't believe it. I was just gobsmacked. I thought to myself, Graham Potter, one of the best coaches in England, he must have seen that the other night the same as we did. He must have joined the dots like we did. So you've got Zakaria in midfield, you've got Koulibaly playing on the left-hand side of the back four, if you're playing a back four. Chalobah, who's normally centre-back, and he only played, a couple of times at right-back, who I think you could play there in a 5, plays him at right-back in a 4. I just don't know what to say. That's why I've not done a full Monty vlog, because I'm at a loss what to say. I'll just score the players. Sorry, folks, and I normally try and look on the positive, but there's nothing positive about that. That was absolute pants. If I was manager of that team, Jesus Christ, I'll tell you what, they'd be back out. They'd be running back to London from Manchester. They'd be jogging at the back of the coach. Absolutely disgusting. We had Kepa in goal. He gets a 5. Obviously, got near the first penalty. As I say, when he didn't come out and that ball come through early in the first half, oh, here we go. £70 million goalkeeper. Jesus Christ. I won't give you £7 for him, I'll be honest with you. Probably been a bit unfair on Kepa, but after the other night, and when I watch stuff like that, you get to the edge of your box to cut that stuff out. I was moaning at Mendy coming out too quick, so I suppose it's the lesser of two evils. Lewis Hall, he gets a 6, trying to do too much at times, overexposed at times. Potter's watching the same game as me, so I would have gone to 5 with a 4 in the middle and just put a 1 up front, but no, for some strange reason he hasn't got the nous to do that. Koulibaly gets a 5. He needs to be playing on the left hand side if he's going to be playing. Gets exposed for pace, but it's not easy against City. On the inside of him, he had Humphries. He'll get a 6. He put the effort in. He's one of the few putting a shift in. He's a young lad making his debut. He's going to take the safety first option all the time, and that's not what you need against City. But he did okay. A couple of good challenges. Chalobah heavily exposed, and I suppose the idea was to have Gallagher covering him, but Gallagher was getting drawn to cover Jorginho. Kovacic was just trying to do too much because I suppose he's fed up with them around him. I better go back to score, didn't I? Chalobah, he gets a 6. Gallagher gets a 6. At least the effort was there. Not a lot of finesse, but the effort. Felt a bit sorry for him at times, actually, trying to cover for people. Jorginho gets a 3. I don't know what he was doing out there, and that's the truth. And a couple of balls he put forward. Oh my good God! I don't know who he thinks. I don't know who he thinks is playing up front. Usain Bolt, I would imagine. Kovacic gets a 5.5. Not his best game, anywhere near it. Mount gets a 4. Mason Mount's got to do more. Even if those around him even if he's opposite, if he's with Ziyech in midfield, he's got to do more. Poor performance from Mason Mount. Hardly touched it. Don't know if he was feeling 100% because he looked knackered when he was in the lineup at the start. Ziyech gets a 1. I wouldn't have him in my team. I'll be honest. Got a lovely left foot. He can do it. He proved that for Morocco, but he's about as much use as a chocolate teapot. Havertz gets a 1. And that's only because he's had his boots on and he turned up. I'll give him minus for that. Why? That penalty was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But it's not just that. What did he do? What did he do? He's playing as a number 9 or a false number 9. Did nothing offensively in that game. Couldn't even say that he consistently helped out the midfield or the back line because he didn't. Fofana came on second half, looked strong, didn't he? Held the ball up well a couple of times and you could tell he's raw, but I think he'll be a player. Chukwuemeka should have been on from the start, in my view. He came on, stemmed the tide a bit, and should have been on. Should have been on from the start. And I know it's the ref. I know I'm always saying, well, it's down to the manager. It's only his decision that counts. But I just don't understand. I just don't understand this. You know, I'm not one of the Potter out brigade. You know, I'm not. I'm all for giving him time. But Jesus Christ, you can't be embarrassed like that. It's either, well, they don't know what they're doing for a start off. There's no set sort of formation or game plan that I can spot. And you can't tell me they're motivated. You can't tell me they're motivated. That's Ziyech. I'd have had a bloke with a bloody great big strap on in there at half time and say, if you don't start moving your backside, son, he's going to have it. Oh, or a woman with a strap on, because got to go for diversity, ain't we now? Or someone that don't know if they're a man or a woman with a strap on. There you go. That's covered all bases for YouTube. Just shocking. Right, sorry folks, I can't say anymore. I don't even know if I ended up score. Yeah, I did. I scored them. Potter gets a 1. Potter gets a 1. They weren't motivated. You can't tell me that they knew what they were doing. And when you see that City are overrunning you, go to a 5 and a 4, or a 4 and a 5. Do something. I mean, giving 2 young lads in that back line, Lewis Hall and the other young lad, one or the other. You're at a City away, and no matter what side they put out, they're strong, aren't they? Even though that, when you look at their bench, Haaland, De Bruyne, everything that we did good the other night, we did poorly today. But lack of effort, that's a big no-no with me. Like I say, even in times gone by when we've had a load of crap we haven't paid millions for, they all put a shift in, and that's why we got behind them. Okay, folks, let me know what you think. I'll be very, very interested in your thoughts. Thanks for those that regularly give us feedback, but those that don't, do us a favour, let me know what you actually think. What you think about that today, and what do you think are the positives? Well, the positives are, of course, the injured are going to get back. But are we going to use them effectively? Right. Okay. I'm going to end up on a positive note. I've got a can of Guinness left. Okay. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Sorry about this, folks. It's just one of them. Up to Chelsea.